Welcome to Online Sports Talk. Today I am talking about the Detroit Lions. We're going to do a mock draft. But before I get into the mock draft, I think we need to go over what the current roster looks like. Today is Monday, March 9th. The Lions went and picked up a left tackle, Larry Borom, today out of Miami. They picked up a new center, Cade Mays, out of the Carolina Panthers. And so I kind of want to go into what I think about all this first, though. You know, the center we got is the 24th best center in the NFL. It is an upgrade over Graham Glasgow. Glasgow was the 33rd best center in the NFL. So it's an upgrade. I don't love the signing, but it's relatively cheap. We need bodies on the offensive line right now. So I think that's okay. Obviously, Glasgow and Decker are gone. And so that really just leaves a whole lot of a mess from center to left tackle. Now, do the Lions move Penei Sewell to left tackle this year? I don't know. It's possible. I do think protecting Goff's backside is very important. So there's a chance maybe they shift him. He did play left tackle at Oregon, but in the NFL, he's only done that a little bit. So I wouldn't expect it. In fact, I would actually think that for him to move to left tackle, it's going to be because they haven't found an adequate left tackle replacement. Now, Larry Borom was ranked 64th out of 89 tackles in the league. If you average that out, that's about 32nd in the NFL at left tackle. That's not real promising. So again, obviously, you want a solid offensive line for what Dan Campbell runs. You know, we are a fourth down conversion team. And right now, the center, left guard, and left tackle look rough. So the way I see it is we have the 32nd best left tackle, we have the 22nd best left guard, and the 24th best center. We have the 12th best right guard in Ratledge, and then we have the first best right tackle in Penei Sewell. You have Juice Scruggs, who is a backup interior offensive lineman. He was ranked 78th out of 81 guards in the NFL last season. Again, 26 years old, but he's just going to be a depth guy. He's probably not even going to be the first guy who comes in when you have an injured interior offensive lineman. He can play center, is my understanding, so maybe he's a guy who can fill in there. I personally hope the Lions draft somebody to replace that, just because I don't think this offensive line is good. I think it's bottom third in the NFL the way it's currently constructed, but we'll see what happens. Some free agents that they could pick up to fix this would be someone like Rasheed Walker, the former Packer. He was ranked 52nd out of 89. That puts him at about 26th best guard or tackle. A slight upgrade over Borom. But it is a little bit of an upgrade. Now you have some depth, and then you could draft somebody possibly as well. Again, not going to set the world on fire. The guy's 26 years old, has a very good pass rushing grade. He was ranked, it was a 70 on Pro Football Focus, 41st out of 89 tackles. His run grade struggles. It was a 55.4. That made him 71st out of 81, which again is bottom of the league. So I don't love that. Another thing I would love to see is maybe if the Lions can get Elijah Vera Tucker on a prove-it deal, he could be their left guard instead of Christian Mahogany. He didn't play enough snaps in 2025 to get a grade from Pro Football Focus, but he is a very big people mover. He is great in the run game. I believe he was either a Pro Bowl selectee a couple years ago or really dang close to it, because he's a solid offensive lineman. 27 years old, coming off of a triceps injury, which is not a serious injury for an offensive lineman. And he's had a whole year off pretty much. The other guy I like, who's an older guy, is Isaac. I'm going to say this wrong. He's from the Steelers. Samalo. He's 32 years old, a 74.8 grade. He is 12th out of 81 guards. His pass grade was a 78.5, which put him at 4th out of 81 guards, and his rushing grade was a 68.2, which put him at 26th. So if I look at his overall grade, saying 12th out of 81, to me that averages out to make him about 6th in the NFL as a guard. So of his position. So again, this would be a solid pickup in my opinion. That allows you to do a lot more. If you had Samalo at your left guard spot, you could be all right. And then you just draft a guy, whether that's the left tackle or a center. I think that could be awesome. In the draft, I love guys like I'm going to say his name wrong, so I'm just going to say the Penn State left guard. I do love him. I love Hecht out of Kansas State. I like Slaughter out of Florida. I like Jones, the center out of Iowa, but I don't think he fits the Lions. I like Coogan, I think is his name. I'm out of Indiana, also at center. So those are some guys I like that I could see a lot there. You probably have to get two of those guys in the draft, or you got to sign somebody like a Vera Tucker or Samalo in order for me to start liking our offensive line again. Some other guys in free agency I really like are Tariq Woolen at corner. He was ranked a 61.2, which put him at 61st in the NFL at corner. So that'd put him at about 30th. If you average it out. So that's a solid starter there, especially since he'd be expected to be our 2 or our number 3 corner. Doesn't get a lot of interception, but he's got good size, and so I think he could be a good one, especially maybe play him in I'm assuming he can play nickel, but yeah, so that's a good one. I like Nick Cross for depth. Obviously we have Kirby Joseph. I don't know if he's going to play again, and we have Brian Branch, but Branch and Joseph are the best 2 safeties in the NFL together, I think. I think we need depth. If Joseph does come back and we have a depth piece, I think we're solid there. If Joseph's not going to come back and play, then we need more than Nick Cross. We're going to need some guys in the draft. I like Thomas out of Miami. I like the guy out of Notre Dame. So, yeah. Now, I do want to share with you, every year I keep an Excel spreadsheet of my guys here. You can see I put some stuff here. So in red, you can see my concerns from center, left guard, left tackle. That is a very big concern for me. Obviously we have a lot of guys that are currently still free agents, that we haven't re-signed, guys like Khalif Raymond. So right now we don't really have a good kick or punt returner. We don't really have a good backup running back. I like Vaki. I don't know if he's a number 2 running back though. Looking at our line again, just scary how bad I think it is right now. I don't know if the Lions are going to make a big signing there. Linebackers, we have Barnes, Campbell, and I think Nowaski currently on the roster. So we're going to need something there. When I look at the defensive line, Reeder is a free agent right now. Aleem McNeil should be back better than ever, hopefully, with another off season to recover from that injury that he had a year and a half ago. Tyleik Williams, coming into his second year. Again, a good run stuffer is kind of the hope there, right? And then Muhammad, you hope he's a good pass rush specialist. So, and then Hutchinson. But you can see here, looking at what we currently have, it's almost a bare roster. There's a lot of holes that we need to fill. Obviously, we're going to sign a lot of guys through free agency, and even after the draft, we're going to sign a lot of undrafted guys to free agency deals. So yeah, but there's guys who got a lot of playtime last year who are just not currently signed to us. We've got our 3 wide receivers, we've got our quarterback, we've got our starting running back, we got our starting tight end. So there's a lot of holes. And when I say holes, it's not just talent gap. Right now, we just need bodies as well to fill some of these roles. So with that, let's get into the draft. Let's do our mock draft. So I think Cardinals take the first lineman. Yep, there we go. Boom, gone. Second one to the Giants, right? Tackle is their top need. Yep, Proctor. Wow, that's a crazy one. And did the Chiefs? No, not the Chiefs. And there's Fano to the Bengals and Freeling to the Dolphins. Like every single time, that's what happens. It's those 4 teams. They always take it. And yeah. So anyways, here we are. Okay, so the Chiefs are offering us a pick 8 in round 2, and that. I don't like that offer, especially since our guy that we like is still on the board. Texans doing something similar. We are going to reject all. We are going to take our offensive lineman. So this right here is the pick. I think Ione is the guy. He's just too good. And while I think left tackle's a bigger need, I just think that guy is far too good to pass up. So, yes, 49ers get Dunker. We're in a weird position now where we need to look at centers. Now, no centers are taken yet. So, again, this is what I would do. This isn't what the Lions are going to do, obviously. I think their investments with Borum and Mays is going to prevent them from drafting at least a center. And here we go. It's our turn. Okay. Bengals are trading quite a bit, but I don't think I could take that. Okay, Chicago wants to trade up. They're given their current second, a third, and that. I am going to accept that trade. And the only reason I'm accepting this is because there are still multiple centers I want, and there's multiple corners. This gives me a third-round pick, and I want that. And we don't currently have a third-round pick. So that is an accepted deal. They took Derek Moore out of Michigan. Good pass rushing specialist. Yep, it's looking good so far. Here we go. Oh, we're getting offered more picks. I don't want that. Bengals are offering a third next year, a fourth next year for this, and a third this year. I do not want to make that deal. So I'm going to probably pass on that one. And then I'm going to pass on that. Okay, so right there. So a lot of people like Connor Liu, too. He could be good. But I love Sam Hecht. I think he's really good. For the sake of this, I might just take the best center on here. So, I mean, if we can get, in my opinion, the best left guard in the draft and the best center in the draft, I think that shores up the interior offensive line for 10 years. Ratledge and those two, we are set with those guys. So I like that move. I like that move a lot. All right, we're going to have to start looking at corners and safeties. So, again, there's a lot of guys I like in the third and fourth round. I like Red Murdoch down here. Could also look at, running backs to replace Monty. All right, our pick. So, looking at some different things here. Yeah, there's still guys I like a little bit later. I love Jacoby Thomas down here. Moore's cool. I haven't actually read up on Ramsey here. Decent 40. He's a man zone slot, nickel safety. So he kind of fits the Brian Branch mold. He's about 6 foot. Weakness is run defense. So not ideal there, but he's a good cover guy. So I like him. He's a safety. Let's see. Everett. Good height, good 40, good hands, good vertical. Outside zone corner. He wouldn't really... I don't know that we need a zone corner as much as man. You know what? I like him, though. We could do that. Let's do it. Let's take Everett. Corner from Georgia. All right, so we got a corner. Again, he's probably going to be our third corner. Not a huge deal there. Not a big concern. There are a couple safeties and corners I probably like a little more. But, the corner's probably going to play more than the safeties, right? Still got some wide receivers. Bryce Lance, Trey Lance's brother. He had a good combine, too. Okay, see, there's still the good centers are still available. Okay, so this is for our fourth round pick, correct? Yes, fourth round, number 118. So I could drop back 12 spots, get another fourth, and another fifth. I'll accept that. We'll drop back. Let's see. Jacoby Thomas is gone. That sucks. That was one of the guys I wanted. We are rejecting. We need to get one of the safeties I like. So I would like to get Stroman. So I got my safety. Got a corner. Got my 2 interior offensive linemen. So far, I'm pretty happy. Presock, I like him from Washington. It might make sense. I like Pride a lot. I've talked about him a lot. Look at that. 40 is like through the roof. His vertical's good. He's only 5'10", though. I like both of those guys. So we're at 5th. I might be able to get both. Now, that doesn't make a lot of sense, though. Lions probably would not draft 4 guys in their secondary. I could get the Red Murdoch. I like him. Let's look at him. 6'1", 233. And didn't do well with any of those. So he's off my list, off my board. Okay, he's got a great 40, great vertical. He's 6'2", 234. So he is actually really dang good. His 10-yard was good. Broad jump was good. So he can generate some power. They say he's undersized. 1 interception across. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. He could be good. Flies downhill against the run with bad intentions. I like that. That's what you want. That sounds like a... This guy sounds like a Brad Holmes kind of guy. Or Brad Holmes. I mean, Dan Campbell kind of guy. We want that guy who's going to run in there and bust things up. Sorry. So we got our linebacker. Let's see which of the corners is available. Presock or Pride? That's who I'm looking at. Presock is still available. I like the 10 yards. I like the broad. His 3-cone was rough, though. That's really bad. Let's look at Presock again. Yeah, I mean, he's solid. He doesn't have a 3-cone. But his height, I like that height because you can't coach height. Can't coach height. Outside zone. He's an outside man press corner. Yeah, I think I got to take him. I got to go with Pride. I think I just like him more. Presock, I really like his size, but yeah. All right, now I'm in a situation where I'm looking at Wagner. I love Wagner. I don't think he's going to be available for us, but I like him to develop. Heck, he might be able to start over Borum. I don't know. Good size. Look at that. Broad jump was really good. Like him a lot. Oh, and he'll be gone. Where did he go? He went to Tennessee. I like him. See, right here. Pat Coogan's still available. Don't want him. What about another Samoan? We can bookend our offensive line with some Samoans. Good hands. Not really much of an athletic freak there. They project him as a right tackle. So this would work with maybe moving Sewell to left tackle. Yeah, there's not a lot about him, unfortunately. Better pass blocker than run blocker. So yeah, I don't know about that. I've had some where I take him. Left tackle. Good 40. 40 doesn't matter much for tackles, though. Good pass blocker. He could play. I like him. Prototypical NFL frame with room to add good weight. Yeah, that's our guy. This is our guy, Zune. I've drafted him in a few before. I'm going to draft him again. I still got a couple 6th and a 7th. So I've still got some room to draft some guys. So now I'm looking at running back. Can we get a big body running back? Kalen Black still available? Let's look at some of these other guys. Hey, Presock went in the 6th round. Could also look for a special teams receiver to return for you. All right. Let's look at Stewart here. 5'9", 222. Big body back. Workhorse back. 4.640. Not ideal. He can break tackles, though. That's the Monty kind of guy. This is your goal line back. I like him. He has medical red flags with multiple injuries in college, raising concerns. Pass protection is raw, so not ideal. Tendency to dance behind the line of scrimmage at times. If the Lions staff told him to put his head down and bust through, he would. Kalen Black, workhorse back, had a good 40. National champion, of course. Decent break tackles. It's going to probably say pass blocking. Lacks top end playing speed. Receiving profiles alarmingly thin. Undersized frame. I don't think that matters too much. And he's not going to be asked to feature, the load for the Lions. Never carried the ball more than 186 times, and that's okay. So I like Kalen Black. I think Stewart, I like him too. So both of those guys are good to me. There's still some linebackers I like. Is there a depth tight end in here? There's a couple, maybe. I like this guy as a project late. Wide receivers. Anyone stand out as like, hey, here's an athletic guy who can return kicks? 40, 4.28, 10 yard. So maybe Xavier Thomas could be a return guy. I don't know if he's ever done that. Elite straight line speed, shows up on film in every single snap. Okay. Yeah, see, you're pulling away on a return. You know what? I'm going to do this just because it's a 6th round pick. We'll see running back in a minute. Let's see if there's another. Let's see if Kalen Black's still there when it's my turn. He might not be. I chanced it. I risked it. Oh, he was. Cool. We'll take Black. This might be my best mock draft so far. I've filled every need still. Now this just puts us with the 7th round. Can probably look at my project tight end down here. Kitzelman. 6'5", 251 from Tennessee. He's an inline blocking tight end. Intermediate routes are good. Short receiving's good. Lacks loose hips. Yeah, I don't know. He's a tight end, too, in the NFL who can develop into a legitimate starter for organizations that prioritize the run game and value reliability over explosiveness. His willingness to get his nose dirty in the blocking game separates him from the pass-catching specialists who dominate modern tight end conversations, and his leadership qualities will resonate with coaching staffs. Sounds like a Campbell guy. We'll do it. So that solidifies our draft. I don't know. I think I did well. Diego Pavia to the Browns in the 7th round. That's crazy. Wow. All right. So with the draft being over, the thing I want to point out here is these would be the available free agents if this was how it went. I like Joey Aguilar. He could be a backup to Goff. So looking through here, there's probably some guys who could be signed as a possibly backup. Otherwise, you're going to look at free agency, right? Here's what's left of running backs. A couple of those guys will probably end up being solid players in the NFL, to be honest. Same thing with receivers. Usually there's a couple guys that go undrafted who end up being pretty good. So there's that. You still got Heron here. That's crazy. There's some guys here that I'm surprised didn't get picked up in this, but it is what it is. This guy right here, I like him. Maybe we could sign him. So here you go. Just some stuff to kind of look at, and if anything stands out. Troy Bowles from Michigan. Corners here from Toledo. Again, some of these guys are going to contribute to some teams, even if they don't get drafted. And then special teams, you got the place kicker, Dominic Zveda from Michigan. So, very interesting. So that's my mock draft. I think this is one of my best ones. Obviously, you get a rookie left tackle, rookie left guard, rookie center, all of which I think could start over what we currently have after today at all 3 of those positions. I think a couple of those corners could step in and be good depth. The safety, again, good depth. So I think this would be a great draft and could really fill up some of those needs and maybe even be improvements over what we had last year in some of these spots. So I don't know. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Obviously, we went over the free agent moves and we went over this, but as we get closer and closer to the draft, I'll be honest, I'm just getting more and more nervous as Holmes seems to be standing pat. I'm sure something's going to happen. I'm sure he's got a plan. And I'm sure he feels some urgency as well. So, I don't know. Let me know, though, what you guys think in the comments below, and I'll see you guys next time.